as quoted by one of our esteemed black senators. I rise tonight because to be silent at this moment of national crisis would be a betrayal, and because at stake in this moment is nothing less than everything that makes us who we are. Now, I want to tell you, we're going to go into something that I think is very important. But before we do, what you see on this video, and this live stream, is true. And what this is about, the names have been changed to protect the guilty. And also because freedom of speech doesn't exist as it once was. And I tell you, if you think I'm lying, just simply on platforms, things that the status quo don't want to hear, they are now holding videos and scrutinizing videos to the point where it's senseless. But on April 1st, the establishment has kept us so busy that we can't see the true purpose of those in power. Everywhere we turn, a order, proclamation is busy turning your attention away from protecting our rights and welfare. You tell me, how can people who grew up filthy rich understand what the middle class, common folks, and certainly not those who need added assistance to live, know what you need or care? These people we put in power had slaves or maids, no difference. Had people to cook, clean, and do whatever, and I mean whatever, they asked of their servants. This goes on to this day, present day slavery. What do you think corporations are? You don't have to look no further than our government to see that the same supremacy that was exercised all over, which they call colonialism, was exercised by only one group of people. So I ask you, all of you, what could billionaires want with the government, especially those who are in the category of buying their immigrant status, buying their citizenship status, and now buying the government? It's already bought. Now, I just want you to think about that, because you see, it's getting so bad that even Europeans are coming out against Europeans. Oh, you see, when they start threatening Social Security, they start threatening to take money out of your bank account and turn things into digital money, which they can then monitor your every move and shut it down anytime they want. In fact, you won't have no more money, okay? And all that money that you didn't hid away, I'm wondering what all these people like Warren Buffett and people who got millions and billions of dollars, what they gonna do when the government tell them to turn the dollars in? You know, that's the question I wanna know. I understand what happens to people that don't have too much, but I wanna understand, do they already have an out? Needless to say, I'm going to start my TikTok here because normally I only get 10 minutes. Okay? And that today is about money can buy anything. We have people who should be probably in an immigrant status because how can you actually serve in the United States government and then try to tell the South African government what to do also? And that's not even the tip of the iceberg. You know, sometimes people are not supposed to be in certain meetings. But when you have enough money in the United States, you could buy yourself into anything. So let's put this away for a minute. As I said, by a wise man and a very strong and courageous man, Senator Cory Booker states, I rise tonight because to be silent at this moment of national crisis would be a betrayal, and it should be to my constituents, to my voters, the people that put me here. But most government officials have forgotten it. And because at stake in this moment is nothing less than everything that makes us who we are. Now, I want to give you a little bit of history. What he is doing is that he is interrupting the government, making a speech which should be talked about as a filibuster, because what happened is, in order to disrupt business, you would have to be on the Senate floor 18 or more hours talking. And see, what they want is, they want you to be out there all 18 hours. But you know, when Strom Thurmond of South Carolina, he was older, much older than 55, who was Cory Booker out there. So how many bathroom breaks did he get? How many people stepped in for him, okay, when he got tired? But you know, we always make allowances for certain factions of our community or of America. This man, Strom Thurmond of South Carolina, spent 24 hours and 18 minutes filibustering, which means talking against the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Rules for marathon speeches require members to continuously speak and remain on the floor, which raises difficult logistic questions, including about bathroom breaks. But you see, that didn't come up when Strom was up there. That did not come up when the segregationist, the racist, he was there. And see, you can't get me for hateful speech when something is true. You see, just read, because a segregationist means that people are supposed to be separated. So how do you separate a society? You have to have some people who are in a position to tell other people what to do or to own other people, manipulate other people, governments, and things like that. But let me tell you something. Always talking about how weak somebody is. Cory Booker has been on the floor, by my last count, 24 hours, 42 minutes. And what does that tell you and tell everybody about the record Strom Thurmond held? Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker, Mr. Senator Cory Booker, Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey rose to speak on the floor of the Senate Monday evening at 7. By my count, It is after 8 Central Standard Time. And after more than 24 hours and some minutes, he's been railing against the policies of someone who seems to be putting America in a position to be another civilization toppled from the inside. Because if you understand anything, and you can go back to Rome and all the other great civilizations, they weren't conquered from the outside. They were conquered from the inside. Before going to the floor, Senator Booker announced his plan to deliver what could end up being the longest speech delivered in United States Senate history. And he made good on it. They wanted to know his motivation. He said, I intend to be recognized. And when I am, I'm not going to stop speaking. I'm not going to stop standing. I'm going to go for as long as I am physically able to go. I've been hearing from all people, all over the state and all over the nation, calling upon folks in Congress to do more, to do things that recognize the urgency, the crisis of the moment. Then he talked about the Senate, Supreme Court, the Oval Office, about having a responsibility to believe in something different. They cause. He singled out actions by this administration to gut federal agencies, including Social Security. I read letters from Social Security workers who now work in inadequate spaces with inadequate staff, unable to do their jobs that they love. Booker said, they're not leeches, they're not people who should be demeaned or degraded by the most powerful people in the land. I can attest to that, and I'm telling you, I don't have a big love for Social Security workers, because put under those circumstances to work, they cannot give you good customer service because they don't have it to give. The threats to the American people and this democracy are grave and urgent, and we must do all we can to stand against them. Now, from a man who in 2013 stood on the Senate floor for 21 hours and 19 minutes over the Civil Rights Act and the Affordable Care Act, and they were eventually passed. He talks about, he also rises tonight, and hopefully it's in unity with Senator Cory Booker. And this is Senator Ted Cruz. I rise tonight because our nation is in crisis. Bedrock commitments are being broken. Unnecessary hardship is being borne by Americans of all backgrounds. Our institutions are recklessly, unconstitutionally attacked and even shattered. In 71 days, the financial stability, the safety, the foundations of our democracy, and any sense of common decency have been threatened. These are not normal times in our nation. Any kind of resistance is warranted because we have a lawless administration. We have people that think the rule of law does not apply to them. So anybody who uses their voices and uses what is available, I think is important. So, Senator Cory Booker, I am not allowing us to just carry on with the expected order of the Senate. Booker's decision to break from standard procedure after an unrelated procedural vote on a Trump nominee was motivated by the unusual threat to the country. His office embargoed copy of his opening remarks in which Booker outlined the stakes as he sees them and his reasons for speaking and holding the Senate floor for as long as he physically can. Now, this is another feat, a test of the iron in men. We have two senators. Y'all might call into question their age. You might call into question all of the things that you would hope would put the field of competition unequally in Strom Thurmond's behalf. But let me tell you something. Age does not matter when a man has a mission. And whatever record that was held, it has now been broken. And that man does not look like you, so it angers you. But this man is representing America. He's not representing the African race, European race, Asian race, Latino race, the indigenous race. He is talking about all America. And all America knows is being threatened. So how in the world do you see, all of the stakeholders, I'm talking about these people in government, Supreme Court, not so much the Oval Office, because that's billionaire. But most people come out of the community. And I'm talking about police officers, CIA, FBI, and all of these federal workers, they come out of the community. So what are we going to have them to do? Turn against the communities that they still have parents that stay in there? See, I don't understand how anybody in authority can go along with this plan when you know it's going to hurt your family. Your job didn't tell you to do whatever somebody told you to do that's in authority or we elected. It says represent and uphold the Constitution. One of the things that people have to understand is that right now, unprecedented waves of firing across the federal government, trying to take the FBI out, which I don't have a whole bunch of love for them because, we don't know who killed out here. But we do know who was in a position to do it and get away with it. These attacks on American institutions, including the press and major law firms, have to be curtailed. Now, we know that harm is coming to this country. We cannot alienate our allies by putting unfair taxes or what we call tariff on people who supported us during wartime, and we supported them. So Senator Chris Murphy, he had a filibuster on gun control in 2016. He lasted shy of 15 hours. But he said he stood for Booker for hours during that filibuster. This time around, Murphy plans to be there supporting Booker. Well, I want each and every American to take a look at the senator or the representative that is representing your district, and you ask yourself, is he doing what's best for us. And if he is not, what are you going to do about it? See, we voted him in. I don't care what it takes. We can get him out of here. I don't care if it takes 1 million signatures. Another vote. I do not care. You have to protect yourself first. And we have not been doing that. But since we are on the rise, we need to take that into consideration. Yeah, it's fine to have a little something going on outside of a Social Security office or administration office. But let's get down to some real brass tacks. Let's start dealing with the government that is actually not doing the things for the people, okay? They're doing things against the people, and they have been bought off, and they're either scared to lose what they have, and most of them, when they got in there, they weren't millionaires, but they're millionaires now. Our Supreme Court justices, they weren't millionaires either, I don't think, but they're millionaires now, and they're doing, and they're there for the beck and call of billionaires. In closing, I'd like to say this. Booker, you have set the tone, and you deserve all the assistance that Democrats can give you. But you see, the Republican Party is in power now. And everybody thought that they were going to be doing something. It's strictly for, I guess, Europeans. You made this problem, you have to take care of this problem. You see, we're not going to talk about certain issues right now. But you know what you were doing when you went in there and you pulled the lever for the people that's in charge right now. You were hoping for something different. You didn't care about other people. Now, the people that you thought would care about you don't care.